Hello cat lovers, today we have another classic for you guys. It's called Mog the Forgetful Cat, written by Judith Kerr. And look at the illustration. This is surely a cat you would want. The lustrous fur and the fat cat, which is the ideal picture for a cat in a family. For our own Mog. Yeah, the author did have a real cat named Mog, and it did look like this. Here's the family. Debbie, Mr. Thomas, Mrs. Thomas, Nicky, and Mog. Once there was a cat called Mog. She lived with a family called Thomas. Mog was nice but not very clever. She didn't understand a lot of things. A lot of other things she forgot. She was a very forgetful cat. Sometimes she ate her supper. Then she forgot that she had eaten it. Sometimes she thought of something in the middle of washing her leg. Then she forgot to wash the rest of it. Once she forgot that cats can't fly. But most of all, she forgot her cat flap. The cat flap led from the kitchen into the garden. Mog could go out and in again. It was her own little door. Look at this. The cat has eaten it, and he still thought that he hadn't eaten it. This is a very funny picture because he was washing his leg and then remembered something and then forgot to wash it. And also, this is a very, let me say, stupid cat who doesn't know much about the world. He thought that cats can fly, so he tried to fly with the bird. And most of all, you'll see that it's funny with the cat flap later here. Whoa, look at the illustration. The pink hydrangeas and the children playing, though their heads seem a bit big. The garden always made Mog very excited. Yeah, there's a lot of flowers here and birds. She smelled all the smells. She chased the birds. She climbed the trees and then forgot to come down again. She ran round and round with a big fluffed up tail. And then she forgot the cat flap. She forgot that she had a cat flap. She wanted to go back into the house, but she couldn't remember how. Funny cat, eh? In the end, she sat outside the kitchen window and meowed until someone let her in. Look at him. Afterwards, you could always tell where she had sat, because here's the result. This made Mr. Thomas very sad. He said, "Bother that cat." But Debbie said, "She's nice, yet children. They like pets, and they will always stand on pet's side." Here's a loaf of bread. Once Mog had a very bad day. Even the start of the day was bad. Mog was still asleep. Then Nicky picked her up. He hugged her and said, "Nice kitty." Hey, it was sleeping, and then he picked the cat up. Mog said nothing, but she was not happy. And by looking at the illustration, we can say that the cat is very heavy, and it's not happy at all. Then it was breakfast time. Mog forgot that cats have milk for breakfast. Actually, milk does not help cat with anything. It just helps them feel fuller. It doesn't give them much nutrients. She forgot that cats only have eggs as treat. She ate an egg for her breakfast. Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Debbie said, "Nicky doesn't like eggs anyway." And we can see here in the daily news that the dad is reading, Mr. Thomas is reading. It's about burglar steals table silver, and we'll see how that article will relate to later in the story. Mog looked through her cat flap. It was raining in the garden. This is a very creepy dog. Mog thought, perhaps the sun is shining in the street. Yeah, that's stupid. When the milkman came, she ran out. The milkman shut the door. The sun was not shining in the street after all. It was raining. A big dog came down the street. Mog ran. The dog ran too. United Dairies, drink more milk. Oh, so it's being chased. Mog ran right round the house, and the dog ran after her. She climbed over the fence. She ran through the garden and jumped up outside the kitchen window. She meowed a big meow, very sudden and very loud. Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Debbie said, "It wasn't her fault." Yeah, because she was surprised and all. Mog was very sleepy. She found a nice warm place and went to sleep. She had a lovely dream. Watch where you're sleeping. Mog dreamed that she had wings. She could fly everywhere. She could fly faster than the birds, but probably with her weight it will drag her down, even quite big birds. Suddenly she woke up. Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Debbie said, "I think you look nicer without a hat." Debbie gave Mog her supper, a fish, and Mog ate it all up. Then Debbie and Nicky went to bed. Mog had a rest too, but Mr. Thomas wanted to see the fight. Mr. Thomas said, "Bother that cat." Radio times. It's a fight. Mog thought, "Nobody likes me." Then she thought, "Debbie likes me because Debbie is always on her side." Debbie's door was open. Debbie's bed was warm. Debbie's hair was soft, like kitten fur. Mog forgot that Debbie was not a kitten. And look at the cute cat here. The illustration on the sideways of this cat drew it beautifully. Also, it drew the girl and the cat being very close together, which tell us about the bond that humans and animals here Mog the cat can form. Yeah, but you'll see how it's getting funny later. Debbie had a dream. It was a bad dream. It was a dream about a tiger. The tiger wanted to eat Debbie. It was licking her hair, and Mog reminded her of it. Debbie shouted. Mog jumped. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas said, "Bother, bother, bother that cat." Debbie said nothing. She was still crying because of the bad dream. She didn't feel a thing though, and the cat looked very funny. That's a very cute face. Mog ran out of the room and right through the house and out of her cat flap. And then she forgot how to come back again. She was very sad. The garden was dark. The house was dark too. Mog sat in the dark and thought dark thoughts. She thought, "Nobody likes me. They've all gone to bed. There's no one to let me in, and they haven't given me my supper." Even in the darkest thoughts of Mog, there's still the funny element in there. Like, he still forgot that he had been given supper and still wants supper. But here's the funny part. I've already pointed. Then she noticed something. The house was not quite dark. There was a little light moving about. She looked through the window and saw a man in the kitchen. Mog thought, "Perhaps that man will let me in. Perhaps he will give me my supper." And here also another beautiful illustration. This is not a normal man. It's a robber. She meowed her biggest meow, which is funny. Look at the illustration. Very thin and very, very loud. The man was surprised. He dropped his bag. It made a big noise, and everyone in the house woke up. Mr. Thomas ran down to the kitchen and shouted, "A burglar!" The burglar said, "Bother that cat." Yeah, he should be the one who's getting that, bother that burglar. Mrs. Thomas telephoned the police. Debbie let Mog in and Nicky hugged her. Look at the funny illustration. Now, Mog's forgetfulness was finally in use. I forgot that it had been fed supper, but it thought that it hadn't been, so it meowed to the robber to let it in and then feed it, which made him shocked and drop all of the things that he robbed, which caused a commotion. A policeman came and they told him what had happened. The policeman looked at Mog. He said, "What a remarkable cat. I've seen watchdogs, but never a watch cat," which is Mog, the first one ever. "She will get a medal," Debbie said. "I think she'd rather have an egg." And this is also a very nice family who offers the burglar a cup of tea in the middle of the night. And he's probably going to hate Cat forever. To Mog for bravery. Mog had a medal. What a smug grin. She also had an egg every day for breakfast. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas told all their friends about her. They said Mog is really remarkable. And they never, or almost never, said, "Bother that cat." To Mog for bravery. And looking at the picture, we can see that the cat is pretty smug, eh? Okay, I hope you enjoyed this funny cat story, and I hope you guys are all doing well. Goodbye, catties.